first pick this time round. Expectations. How are you feeling about RTO right now? Because like I was mentioning to Taco, like we're starting to see it get slipped through the ban phase now.
I think RTO can still be dealt with right now. There's a lot of tank killers in SMITE. You're looking at Nemesis and Circuit specifically. And as long as you camp that soul lane, if that's where RTO is, it's very likely for you to kind of abuse the RTO before she gets the items online, before the MP5 and the cooldown reduction takes into full effect.
Makes a lot of sense. Raijin Odin. Hello? I've seen some Odins for a while. Is that just because of rival compositions or what Burrito want to draft here?
It's possible that Burrito could be looking for an early Raw, early Hell pick, and that they don't want to deal with that Odin cage or something that's not going to be able to escape that Odin cage, maybe even a Musin Cob.
Okay, Circuit banned out too, so a bit of anti-heal there, taken away. RTO will be the first pick, and it was Rival who banned away that Circuit.
It's interesting that Burrito actually banned out the Odin just to pick this RTO, really leaning on this kind of a pick, but Ice maybe really likes this Nemesis, so I wouldn't be surprised if Rival elect for that.
Osiris and Ho Yi. Osiris deals pretty well with an RTO to an extent as well. Obviously, the tether does reduce a bit of the damage done, stuns as well, and then anti-heal on top of that.
It's very important to try to protect your backline as Osiris every now and then. The tether limiting the damage potential that Burrito can do, and that's going to be important to keep your carries alive.
Sol and Jingwei talking about carries locked in. More than likely Sol for the mid lane and Jingwei for the duo lane of Burrito here. RTO is definitely still flexible to the support role. Obviously Guardian, so it should be. And then a Giannis for Rival.
You never really know between Sol and Jingwei. There's so many teams that like to flex between the Hunter and the mid role, and the way a lot of teams have been starting off in the beginning of the game, I wouldn't be surprised if both those guys just straight up go in the mid lane.
I'm a little bit surprised though, because you mentioned, you know, Circuit and Nemesis are really good against RTO, and Rival have banned them both themselves.
That is surprising. Maybe that's going to be an Osiris jungle then if they're banning away a Nemesis, because there's one jungle ban and one soul lane ban from Rival. However, Rival have the luxury of the last pick.
And the next pick as well as we go into this part of the phase too. So they could set their jungler first. Will be Athena, which is flexible too. Can jungle solo and support, obviously.
That's very true. And the thing about the Athena is normally you're running this goddess in a composition where there's huge mage bursts. Giannis can do the damage if you're running Doom Orb for the glass cannon style, but it's not the most consistent damage in the world.
Hunbat's locked in. Not seen some Hunbats in a while, Tolly. Is he back? Is the monkey back?
You know, he can make a lot of impact. It's very easy to disrupt any sort of dive potential. And when we're looking at an Athena that's going to dash in to try to taunt, a Hunbat's ultimate could find an easy pick on the Athena and then separate everyone else trying to assist.
Good point, because even if you don't focus it on the Athena, you'll focus it just behind her, which means the team can't come in and collapse and cause the problems. And a Vamana pick as well. Well then. Vamana or Osiris jungle here, Tolly.
This is a pretty old school composition coming out of Rival here. Vamana is not one of these gods that you would normally see very often here, but more importantly, it's the Vamana combined with the Osiris. Normally, the Osiris is the counter towards Vamana, so maybe that's why we saw the early Osiris pick.
But the Osiris and the Vamana, which one would you want against the RTO? Oh no, it's not even going to be RTO in the solo lane by the looks of it.
It's probably going to be the Chalk, honestly. You could put either one of those there, but I would look for the Vamana in the solo lane because you don't want to really trade into a Chalk. He's just going to use that Rainstorm, heal all the poke back up. It's going to be easier time to clear faster with the Vamana as opposed to the Osiris, and then make the more impactful rotation.
Okay, well, let's see how this one starts and where they're going. Deathwalker's on the Osiris. Ice Baby is playing the Vamana jungle.
Now, the interesting thing about having Vamana jungle is the scaling on his abilities. It does a lot of damage if you have a good amount of physical power, and the base damage is complemented there as well.
So Heartseeker,
you still could go tanky items. Heartseeker would be very impactful here, especially considering that his cooldowns are not the highest.
Okay, we'll see how that goes. Also, he's gone for Blink on the Vamana too, so he's really looking to make an impact with this in blinking into the engagements. I guess just looking for instant burst more than anything else. Instead of having to try and close the gap or do it from range, just all in, pow, 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 and then done.
And Vamana still has a little bit of crowd control with his knock-up on his dash, so that's one of the most impactful forms of crowd control. Even though it's not straight up stun, straight up not a taunt, it's still going to make the impact in a team fight. So you can look for a blink if you're Ice Baby, look for the knock-up, potentially setting up your double slow on your Umbrella Ring.
Okay, so interesting choices coming out from the teams here. Just keep it on their minimap more often than not. You can see the Rival are looking to pressure on this right-hand side of the map and steal away the blue, but there's three members of Burrito here looking to defend as Fusify is on the RTO earlier on. Deathwalk is in trouble as Wolfie and Vote were busy doing the oracles. Deathwalk is still under pressure, and it looks like the call from Rival was fine, but I don't think that's working out too well just yet. I say that, but the bear is dead.
Wolfie with a great play onto Fusify. Hitting the portal was crucial to stop the DPS out of Rival, maintaining the damage in Rival's Rival's favor, now picking up the first blood, and Wolfie really likes this Giannis. If you ever watch the stream, you could see him practicing this very consistently.
And going for the fast Book of Thoth as well, something that you don't see too often. I mean, you do see it on Giannis sometimes, but you're looking to just survive in the early stages more often than not. Not necessarily put out the damage. Blue buff is not going to be stolen away. Sibby will get it, and Johnny says, goodbye, my friend, I'll leave you to this. But Sibby's still in trouble here. He needs the torrent, and he'll get it just in time.
But not until he took about almost all of his health. He's going to have to use a lot of those potions. Only sitting with one more stack of that health chalice is going to allow Deathwalker to be very aggressive in this lane.
Callus on the left-hand side started on his own in this dual lane up against Kaspanify. Did his own purple, as Kaspanify was getting the red buff at the beginning of this game too. So relatively even lane here, or Hunter versus Guardian. There's not much to really talk about in that.
And we were talking about how potentially this Soul and Jing Wei would be in that mid lane to start things off, but that's not going to be the case at all. However, Rival were the ones that wanted to complement their mid-mage Hunter in the mid lane. That's why they made that rotation happen around the portal.
And the big thing about that as well, keeping in the idea of RTO and Sol together, do provide pretty good clear.
Yes.
I mean, together, RTO's great earlier.
The damage is just so strong coming out of RTO, the double swipe coming out of that first ability, and then you're also looking at when she transforms, she's going to get that AoE heal off.
Only issue with an RTO in the early game, mana consumption is always going to be a concern, so just keep an eye on that as time goes on, but Fusify doing a good job of using his Watcher's Gift here and not using too many abilities early on, because he's got multi-potions. He doesn't have mana potions on this RTO right now. Callus going to find out he's going to get some more company with Fusify coming over here, but good news is he's got Vote on the way too, and Kaspanify doesn't know that yet.
It's a level 5 Hou Yi. He can make some plays happen here. The dash to slow Kaspanify taunt, going to set up for the Ricochet.
And now Kaspanify still under pressure. Vote's going to collapse in. Kaspanify still level 4, into the Suns he goes, but the Suns can't reach the shadows just enough.
Needed 2 more ticks of those Suns to find another kill for Rival, but despite not finding the kill, that's going to be still a technical kill because you're stripping away some potential farm from Kaspanify. Granted, he will use that passive to get back to the lane, but Fusify can only hold this lane for so long until the minions will kill them off.
Biggest thing from this though, Tolly, is looking at Rival. They're relying a lot on Vote here because Giannis, you know, early game damage not confirmable. We've said this a lot of times. Giannis takes a while to get online looking for late game burst. And then they've got 3 tanks, an Athena, a Vamana, and an Osiris. So Vote's going to have a big game here to make this composition really work, in my opinion.
And the way Rival's composition is panning out between Wolfie on the Giannis and Vote on the Hou Yi is the displacement and the just repositioning from the portals, and then you got the huge AoE damage control from the Suns coming out of Vote, and as long as Burrito is in group around the Gold Fury, Rival's going to have an easy time at repositioning.
Well, let's see what happens next, as Rival did get that first kill onto Wolfie, which accelerated his build a little bit with the first blood gold. So his Book of Thoth is already online and stacking. Generally, you know, Giannis's, they like penetration, they like power, but they also like cooldown reduction too, which allows them to get more abilities off, a little bit more off.
More mana for him to spam those abilities. He's never really realistically going to go and I wouldn't be surprised if Wolfie still picks up Sands of Time later in his build, wanting to finish off the stacks from Book of Thoth first.
Deathwalker under a bit of pressure on the right-hand side there. He was looking to invade the jungle, but in comes Ice Baby and slaps Johnny in the face for a second, just making him recognize for a minute. Bluestone Pendant on that jungle Vamana too. No real surprise. Helps him clear the wave a little bit more and continue some sustained damage.
Traveler shoes for Ice Baby, really trying to ping-pong between lanes, making his presence known, and he can easily get off a lot of damage to get that extra 30 gold proc. And coming from the jungle, we don't see this very often, but as a Vamana player, it's not a bad idea considering that you're going to dive the backline, probably take a lot of damage, and once you reset, you're going to have all that health back.
Song from Callus catches Fusify. Fusify turns around and puts some pressure on. Eats a double shot from the Ricochet, however, but there was no mark, so he wasn't stunned in place, and there was no further follow-up, but Fusify ate a bit of damage.
I swear, everyone that plays Hou Yi just has these miraculous Ricochet bounces.
It doesn't happen in my games.
Not at all. It always happens against me, but when I try it, I'm like, man, I need to practice some more.
It's that classic thing of like, when you get a Loki on the enemy team, they're amazing. When you get Loki on your team, they're awful.
It's always the curse.
When you get a Hou Yi on your team, not a chance. They can't even land a basic attack.
Now, to be fair, that wall that's facing against the ocean in the dual lane is very easy to bounce off. It's pretty straightforward. So if you've ever played any form of billiards, you could pretty much line up that shot.
But I play billiards and I'm not good enough at it. I just want to do the big triple shots. I don't care about the doubles. Doubles are easy in my eyes in this game. I'm looking for triples.
It still does a lot of damage.
Sure, but it's always, you always feel like it should be the triple. However, left-hand side now, keep an eye on Johnny. He's rotating around here on the Hombats too, and Vote's under a bit of pressure. He's going to get blinked on by Fusify, and Fusify takes a lot of damage. Kispanify zones him away, and Vote's in trouble, looking for an escape the wrong side of the zone.
Oh, no more beats from Vote. He's going to eat the overhand smash, the rotation from Rival, not able to save their Hunter, but Strahl trying to find Fusify to avenge their fallen brother. Kispanify in the backhand side, trying to pick off Wolfie.
And now Wolfie's under pressure too as the overhand slam from Johnny comes through. Callus still under pressure as Kispanify is in, and finally, the bear will die under the tower, but the baby's in trouble because look where Farrakrick is.
Callus is going to fall on the top-hand side.
What is this game?
Rival is just all over the place. Isis Baby trying to dash away. He has speed buff. He has Traveler Shoes. His mobility is through the roof.
Bit of damage coming out. No, Farrakrick has missed all his abilities, and you can't do that.
He just wasn't in range to hit that Stellar Burst. The mobility from Ice Baby, from the Traveler Shoes, from the speed buff, now probably working into Masamune or Heartseeker, is just giving him that extra movement speed.
Sorry, that should have been 4 kills.
That
should have been a 4th kill. Ice Baby should have died there. He shouldn't have got away. And that would have worked out so much better for Burrito because Gold Fury could have been an option then because of that too.
And Burrito played that perfectly, honestly. The blink coming from Fusify was completely unexpected and caught Vote off guard. And even the Defender of Olympus from Callus wasn't enough damage mitigation to save his Hunter. Not only that, the cripple field from Artio forced the early beats from Vote, so therefore Johnny was easily able to follow up.
Now when Burrito played Energy, they'll have the confidence from that set under the belt now too, coming up against Rival, knowing that they can take on some of the big boys. The biggest issue they have realistically is getting the stuff after the stuff, as Tom would say.
Yeah.
And that fight there is a prime example of it. They win the engagement, but they don't get anything, which means Rival still have the gold lead here.
Still really early in the game, though. It's about 8 minutes now with a 22,000 or 23 almost out of Rival, despite being 1 kill behind. Still able to get the more important objectives here. The neutral camps between these Harpies, Oracles, and Elementals have been in the favor of Rival throughout.
Yeah, wave going to cleared up nice and quick here. Oracle's already gone down there to Rival as Vote will return to lane. He did a good job surviving for a while there, Vote. I think it's just his decision of the leap is what kind of screwed him over a little bit, where he would have realized where the portal was, but it's hard to judge where the portal's coming from.
As a competitive player, you need to be communicating where those portals are coming throughout. He was expecting the defense of the damage mitigation from Defender of Olympus.
Yep.
That bought him enough time to even use that jump in the first place.
Sure.
So he should have been very mindful about where Wolfie's portals were.
But at the same time, you're probably expecting your Giannis portal to come from behind you, you know, like behind you on your escape route, not necessarily right by where you were stood at the time, although tomato tomorrow, I guess. It's a difficult decision, but it's just unfortunate.
As a mid-mage, whenever you're playing Giannis, you're like, all right, run to me, run to me, run to me. And that's the communication that Wolfie was probably doing. However, Vote needed to make that conscious decision of like, I probably don't even have time to get to you before I die. So he actually tried to run south to buy even more time for the rest of his teammates just to make that rotation and find a cleanup kill. But it was only 1 to Burrito's 3.
Right-hand side, Sibi under a bit more pressure on this Chak, but it is Chak after all, and with a Gladiator shield under his belt already, he can sustain for days, especially with the Rain Dance of Dances, and he's not having to worry about 2 warriors as it stands right now.
No, not at all. Deathwalker trying to be a little bit of a nuisance here. The damage is actually real. He baited out quite a lot.
Oh, Sibi's going to use everything. Okay, Deathwalker, I think you just bit off a little bit more. I don't think he had to ult there. No. He was looking for the solo.
He wasn't actually looking for the guaranteed hit. He wanted not to get hit by the Chalk ultimate more than anything else. If he hits the ultimate, sure, that's all fine and dandy. But not only that, you also get the passive effect of Osiris, so you're able to actually get, if you get off 1 more slow onto Sibi, then that Fatalis effect of your in-hands could be enough to tower dive.
I just think it was like almost wasteful though. You know what I mean? I don't think he had to kill him there. He knew Sibi's ult was down. He's like, well, okay, I got a free win. And then when we have Vermana come over next time, if he does that again, it's a free kill because he's not got the ult to defensive.
That's true. Deathwalker was probably thinking that there's not going to be much more action though in the solo lane, considering how much rotations is being made on the left-hand side. Gold Fury is going to be a high point of contention for both of these teams, and Deathwalker feeling himself a little bit.
Is that Haste and Katana on Vermana?
It looks like it.
So
this is the launch tournament days all over again.
I was about to say, like, you were one of these kids back in the day where Hasten Fatalis, but now it's known as Katana, only available on Melee, is really good in Vermana to allow him to stick to targets during his ultimate.
Sure. Back then, it wasn't necessarily the Fatalis or the Hasten Katana. It was more about the Sprint 3, so you're able to have that Fatalis effect.
And that's still available now, technically.
Absolutely. You're able to ignore all that stuff. But Ice Baby really trying to stick on very key targets in these teamfights, specifically Farrakrick and Kispanify. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe he even opts for a Witchblade later on.
Wolfie has to pull back towards mid lane there. Callus dashes to to the left. A little bit worried about Fusify, just looking for the best and potentially Fusify going to stop the pressure coming out from Rival, but Fusify had way more damage than he wanted to there. The Suns came down very, very quick from Vote. Will force Fusify back defensively for now, but playing RTO, you can resustain quite a bit.
That's true. As long as you're able to get off your 1 and 3 in the Druid stance, you're going to get some sustain, especially in the lane when you can hit multiple targets. However, with him being that low, he's still going to need to reset. A slight 5-on-4 advantage for Rival if they wanted to push something on the left-hand side.
Interesting how relics have started to come along as time's gone on. We've seen a little bit more coming out of this horrific emblem as time's gone on. It's not something that we've seen too much of, especially I expected it not to work out too well just because of sprint being a big thing.
That's true. But at the same time, the sprint can only do so much for you. As long as you're very patient with your horrific emblem, you wait for the sprint to wear out, then your horrific emblem just becomes that much more valuable, and that's going to be a key, crucial sign for Deathwalker.
Also, it does slow attack speed too, so that can also make an impact against 2 auto-attack based characters in Farrakrick on the Sol and Kispanify on the Jingwei too. Wall coverage from Burrito, pretty solid at the start of this one, I will say, around the goal view, which is quite important at this stage.
That's right. Both of these teams still not able to really force anything around the goal view. They're being very patient. They kind of respect each other here. It's week number 5, and everything's on the line.
And Johnny's looking to try and potentially flank around the corner here, but I'm not sure if that ward is his or theirs, but it's definitely team rivals now. Taunt onto Johnny, but Johnny returns the favor with the Fear No Evil. Callus gets missed with most of this damage. He can just dash away. Ice Baby that was coming around the back, but he's not all that tanky to eat all that poke coming out from Kispanify, and they're trying to commit onto the baby, and the baby's dead.
And the Defender of Olympus was off the mark. It's onto Vote, but it does land onto Fusify. Up and down goes Johnny, trying to kill Wolfie. He's trying to find one more hit. The Aegis is not going to be enough.
No, it won't whatsoever, and now Kispanify ate that ricochet towards the end there, coming out from Vote, but it's not enough to deter Burrito. Marching in, as in goes Johnny again, but Vote, luckily enough, just had his leap up, and now it's Johnny in a bit of an awkward spot himself.
He's going to be fine, A-OK. Now, the way that's started and engaged off, I thought Johnny was going to use that ultimate a lot quicker with all 3 members from Rival turning around that corner, but Burrito couldn't find the engage right off the bat. Farrakrick's Stellar Burst and Supernova wasn't perfect.
Good sprint being popped there, coming out from Sibby to try and get Johnny away from the danger and the ultimate too, but the stun is going to force the beads out of Johnny, but the tether is still attached, and Deathwalker will get Johnny there, who just couldn't get away.
There's just too much slows on slows on slows from Deathwalker between both of his abilities and then the horrific emblem. Even the sprint from Sibby wasn't enough to save his jungler.
Deathwalker's biting it off more than he can really chew here, looking towards that blue buff after getting the kill onto Johnny. Can't find that in the end, and Burrito will defend their jungle buff for the time being. We'll see if Johnny can get back there in time to pick up that speed, though, is the real question. Normally it lives on the ground for 30 seconds, but he's still going to respawn for a few seconds' time, so yeah, see if Fusify pick it up instead.
Rival are so good about getting something out of nothing here as they're grouped up on the left side mid-Harpies without any Gold Furies or any towers. They're still building up a pretty comfortable lead.
Ooh, good turn onto 2 as Fusify comes over the wall with a blink, looking at Wolfie to zone him away. It does allow Burrito a bit of room, and Callus is the one under pressure too. CC chain to high heaven, and Kispanify picks up the kill. 6-4 for Burrito.
Only needed to connect with that Supernova from Kispanify, or from Farrakrick rather, and that is only 1 ultimate down. Burrito with this 5-on-4 advantage for 20 seconds, gonna look to pull the goal here, but if they don't get it soon, Callus, when he revives, will have that global ultimate available.
And you can just see Team Rival happy to wait back for the time being, trying to buy a little bit more time. Goal Fury is unleashed, and if they keep just walking in, they could potentially reset it one more time. Burrito will reset it again as Fusify's committing towards Vote.
Forcing the beats and forcing the jump, and now Johnny goes up and down. Egg is going to absorb the overhand smash. Ice Baby from behind. The bait is real from Rival.
Yeah, the ball was good, but Vote's still in trouble, and the Fear No Evil will connect, and Kispanify clears him up. Space and time came through just a little bit too late from Wolfie, but Ice Baby did take down Farrakrick, so it's a 1-for-1, but Rival now control the Gold Fury area.
Threshold was used to amplify the movement speed from Rival. They're looking to swing around the corner. I think they were trying to catch Burrito off guard there, and the movement speed from Ice Baby. It's so difficult to get away from this Vamana.
Oh, well, it won't be the tier 1 tower. It won't be the Gold Fury they're going to look for the tier 1 tower, because only Johnny's here. No ultimate available to really stop this. If he goes in just to clear the wave, Tolly, he may get picked off instead. They have to surrender a tier 1 tower.
The taunt.
But now, round the corner.
The taunt is good. The portal's even better. Not more follow-up than that, because Fusify was creating a problem in the backline.
Good stun from Fusify to Thriz. Kispanify comes in too, but Fusify's completely out of mana here, and I like the call there from Burrito to fall back. Even though Kaspanov had his damage available, he would have been alone with no real support.
Burrito just saw 3 members from Rival head to the right-hand side, and they're not starting the Gold Fury, surprisingly. Instead, more contempt about doing the back left Harpies, because Kaspanov will pull it, but it's a little too late as Callus is right there.
Yeah, Callus just had his early warning signs on there for a second, like, hang on a second, guys, if we can't all go this way, like, someone's gonna... And of course, it's him that has to not get experience while he defends the goal.
And just like that, that's why positioning in lanes are so important. You can just kind of sit tucked around a corner and see where the enemy goes, whether it's left or right, and then make a decision. Are we going to go for Gold Fury because everyone's committing towards Portal Demon, or vice versa? This is why Smite's meta has transitioned to a point where both teams are starting to normal ward in the middle of the lane.
Really good play from Vote on that left-hand side there. Blink came out from Fusified, an instant leap response to get away from the danger and get himself back to safety. So a relic down there for Burrito, at least in the support role. Johnny will get his speed buff here, but in comes Ice Baby looking to pressure.
He's faster though.
And the speed will come into account. Remember the fatalities too. Johnny's going to be careful about taking this fight. Ice didn't want to take the trade though.
It's all about poke. Ice Baby got Johnny down to half health. There's no reason for him to dive that any further. Canceling the overhand smash with the knock-up and still using the mobility of that ability to get back to the mid lane.
Well, with Johnny going back to base, Portal Demon being started up by Rival now, realizing Gold Fury could be a bit of an issue. Burrito, realizing there's people missing though, starting to come back round.
It's a bait because Deathwalker has Sibby trapped with the Defender of Olympus. Gonna force out Sibby's ultimate.
But the turnaround from Burrito could be possible. Ice Baby under pressure, rooted in place. Has to Big Baby and gets through the portal in time. Don't know how that big model got through there, but it did just that. Johnny though, keep an eye on that cheeky little monkey.
He's coming around the backhand side. His blink might be available here. He's going to get an overhand smash. He's doing a lot of damage onto Callus with 3 more members right beside him. But with Vote here, Rival should be able to control this team fight now.
Both Hunters turn up to this one, Tony. We'll slow it down for a second, but Burrito feeling confident and going to pull the Portal Demon.
Creating out some abilities, but now Johnny going in the back. Ice Baby forced to retreat yet again on Sable Vortex, doing a lot of damage, but Vote throwing out the Suns.
Good top from Callus there, and the Suns do collapse down, but Vote is forced out of the fight, and Sibby is slowed to high heaven and eats the unstable Vortex. Still trying to run away his Chak as Callus goes in. The portal is good. Callus credit for the kills. Deathwalker, meanwhile, is trying to kill the bear and does just that.
He's going to be able to skin that bear alive just like that. 2 members dead from Burrito. Rival finding the kills when they matter most. Now going to be onto this Portal Demon. Ferrocrick doesn't have that Supernova to contest.
No point in trying to contest this one whatsoever. I like Johnny's call here instead. He can't really go in with his health pool looking the way it does. Instead, try and answer back the tier 1 tower in mid. Make sure the mid lane's even, but he might not be able to get it in time.
The portal was already used just to survive or keep their tier 1 tower in the mid lane alive a little bit longer. Johnny looking to sneak away this red buff, will steal it successfully, but they're on the chase. Ice Baby and Wolfie not going to let this go.
Oh, nice juke from Johnny though to avoid some of that damage coming out, and that means Ice Baby can't get any further follow-up. Because Spotify was looking for a cheeky Gold Fury for a second, but had to just settle for that. Sorry, so for the Oracles for the time being. So we're at 7-7 totally. 4k lead for Rival, but it's not looking that bad for Burrito.
No, not at all. Considering that they only lost their tier 1 mid tower and 1 Portal Demon, Burrito are thanking themselves that they aren't even further behind currently. Teamfight on the left a little bit as Vote's the focus point.
And he will get taunted, but the turnaround damage onto Kaspanify is pretty good here. Double stun came out, but it wasn't good enough. Vote is really under pressure. Kaspanify is going to collapse for the kill. Aegis used by Vote. Has he got the ultimate for the airstrike? No, the sun's gone down and Vote's juking. There's the airstrike to save the day and get him away from danger for how long though? Not long enough.
The portals was enough for Rival to make this rotation, find a 1-for-1 trade. Fusified trying to run away, taunted back into 3 members, gonna dash away. Ice Baby though was thinking about diving that a little further, but the better call is the Gold Field.
Well, it's also the cripple field was down, so he was trying to wait for that field to disappear before he went into range, and just as it wore off, he changed his mind about the option. Sibby, meanwhile, is just being whacked away on consistently every fight by Deathwalker.
It's a 2-level lead for Deathwalker on this Osiris. He's able to out DPS the sustain from Sibby currently, simply because of that mystical mail adding to that DPS.
And look at that, 16,000 player damage, I should say, for Deathwalker so far this game. Yeah, it's against the Chak. But then again, that's a lot of damage.
That's true, but also keep in mind that the magical defense from Sibby is almost non-existent currently, and that's where the mystical mail kind of takes into effect. Only tier 2 of this Urchin is not allowing him to stay alive in these little skirmishes.
Tell you what, Tony, that's a throwback. Talking about mystical mail being magical damage, we've not spoke about that since like season 1.
It's been a hot minute actually, and that's really important here, because normally whenever you're physical versus physical in the soul lane, you're building physical defense, especially when you're dealing with either Hunbats or a Vamana, surprisingly out of the jungle. jungle, so it's not a bad idea to rush the Gladiator Shield or maybe even Breastplate of Valor sometimes.
And I guess when you think about what we said about Giannis earlier as well, being a little bit low in terms of damage early on in the game, well, having 2 Mystical Males does kind of help you out. You know, having one of the Mana too potentially here that we can see. That just gives you a little bit more magical damage coming in, which makes Burrito think a little bit more without thinking.
And not only that, the Mystical Mail is going to potentially stop some of the blinks from Johnny or Fusify if those Mystical Mails ticks will connect. You have to be out of combat for about 3 seconds in order to use that relic.
So Gold Fury still available for both teams. Portal Demon went the way of Rival most recently, and it's still 8-8. The dance around the Gold Fury seems pretty solid from Burrito, though. The difference is the Portal Demon was a different story, and that's where they struggled.
It was just a bait from Rival around the Portal Demon as Deathwalker just chunked Sibby. They forced Faircrick a little bit too far forward, got a lot of cooldowns prematurely from Burrito, and then Rival were able to capitalize, especially because Ice Ice Baby disengaged.
Sibby was pressuring mid tower, and the collapse from Rival is towards mid as the Gold Fury is looked at for a second, mainly for the Oracles from Burrito. Now they're going to swing mid. That tier 1 tower isn't its last legs for Rival, so there's a chance and opportunity if Burrito get a window.
It's very possible if they do find this window. Ice Ice Baby barely taking any damage from that Stellar Burst. Sibby's going to get taunted into 4 members of Rival, though.
But Sibby's fine for the time being as Fusify comes in to join him. Wolfie's collapsed on and has to beat an Aegis to use his portal to get away. Meanwhile, on the backside, Deathwalker's going to fight Kaspanify, and you don't want to fight him if you're a Hunter because he has so much physical defense.
Look at this. Look at the portals. The portals are so good, allowing Ice Ice Baby to wrap around underneath, forcing Johnny out, not even using his Hunbat's ultimate yet.
That taunt from Callus was huge and set up Vote for so much damage. Gets a double kill for his own Hunter, and now Rival can collapse towards the Gold Fury, and Burrito now have to try and defend with just 3 members left.
Johnny still with his ultimate. He was zoned away the whole time. Now Deathwalker knows where Johnny is. He's calling it for his teammates. They're going to disengage from this Gold Fury.
2 people taunted twice in a row from Callus. Farakuk is in so much trouble. The Disapparate will help him out.
Look how far away Wolfie is on the right-hand side, knowing that Johnny's right there, but now he's going to get caught without his beads, without his Aegis. A lapse of judgment there. Johnny making a great play.
And he manages to get out too unless the Ricochet hits, which it doesn't. So Johnny will survive and pick up Wolfie. Big play after the initial engagement there after the beats and Aegis being down.
I think that Rival thought that Johnny backed. He was so low behind that Gold Fury, but he was still there with Blink, with the ultimate. I don't think anyone called it for Wolfie.
Well, Kaspanify just used his Wing Gust there, which means that he's not really got much control on the Gold Fury, but Rival not really feeling this now, realizing that Fusify and Johnny will be on the way back. They have to reset the gold, but Ice Ice and Callus can't give it away for free.
They can't give it away, but Fusify's here alongside Johnny right around the corner. Ice Ice Baby doesn't have any mana. He's going to get double slowed as Johnny goes right on top of him. The overhand smash confirms the kill.
Perfect pickup there for Johnny and just sets him up for a little bit more pressure onto this gold. So Burrito still in this game now, looking to potentially get it closer to an even keel if they do get this Gold Fury.
It's about a 5,500 gold lead for Rival, and doesn't seem that they're able to really contest this as Deathwalker's in the middle of the lane. 2 members from Burrito zoning around that purple buff.
Yeah, Gold Fury's going to go for Burrito. Great play from them. It's still a 3k deficit between the two, but Portal Demon being looked at by Deathwalker now as well. So this is a bit of a tricky situation for Rival.
That's true. This lead that Rival has built for themselves at the 24-minute mark, it's basically nothing, honestly, between both gold and experience. Burrito can easily play into this as long as they don't give up any silly deaths here, and if they even focus out Vote here with Kaspanify right around the corner, that would be a good lead.
And the big key there was watching
it's going in.
Trying to get traded out with Fusify. Kaspanify's under pressure, has to leave, realizing Callus was on the way, but it did get the Aegis out of Vote. And the Ricochet misses. The snipe hits from Wolfie, but the bear is still there.
Not able to find the kill there. Not wanting to commit under that tier 1 tower because I think Team Rival understand that Burrito's trying to sneak this Portal Demon.
They are, but the tether is attached to 2 and the silence comes out early on from Sibby though, which means they don't have secure and have to run away. Johnny's still under pressure and slowed down.
So much trouble. He's forced to use that ultimate defensively using the beads, but it's not enough. Deathwalker able to lock him down.
Next on the list is Farakuk, who's going to get away from the danger due to his beads and then has to Disapparate too. Kaspanify now under pressure himself. He has no relics and no ultimate to get away.
Ultimate Deathwalker is going to help find the kill. Wolfie credited with that one. 2 den members from Burrito. 5 on 3. The rest of Burrito trying to escape.
They have to escape for now, but they've got to be careful that if Rival realize this, they could get Portal Demon and then even look towards Fire Giant. Respawn time's over 40 seconds on Kaspanify here.
It's a long time as Deathwalker is still not stopping being that bully that he's known for being. Fusify needs to find a way out of here. He's slowed by the threshold. He's going to use his thorns. He's 1v4.
Farakuk's dead though on the backside, or he should be, because Deathwalker just beat him down. Actually, he'll get away thanks to Sibby, but Fusify's dead. Whole of Rival are basing here. This could be a Fire Giant attempt.
This just turned on its head so quickly. We were talking not even 2 minutes ago
about
how
Fury?
close this game was. As Burrito got the Gold Fury, they kept the game in their grasp. But the 3 members from Burrito trying to force that Portal Demon was a little too ambitious. They didn't respect the mobility that Wolfie provided.
Come on, Sibby. There's the sprint pop. He's trying to go in, but gets taunted into the damage. Down he goes. But Rival haven't got the fire yet.
Not yet. Johnny's here. He has his ultimate. He could find a kill. I think he got spotted across the ward. Vote's going to keep his distance. Wolfie's going to...
Oh, the defensive ultimate coming out from Vote too. They're trying to get away. Johnny will now leap to safety. Wolfie, space and time through the monkey's face. The juke out is good, and Wolfie cleans him up.
The outplays from Wolfie. He's an absolute monster here. Playing this Giannis in the mid lane, hitting through space and time, juking with his beads, going through his own portal, doing a quick 180 shotgun, unstable vortex, just shutting down Johnny in his track.
So it does stop Rival doing the Fire Giant now. That's the big key here for Burrito. And now Burrito have a moment to breathe, collect their thoughts again and go, okay, what just went wrong in the last couple of minutes? Because we just got gold and then we just lost so much.
The problem was Sibby used his ultimate very prematurely around that Portal Demon. He wanted to stop Deathwalker from just spamming his abilities, getting his damage off from Ferrocrick into Painify, but because that ultimate was used so early in that engagement, it wasn't available to really shut down some of the free casting that Wolfie was able to do.
So right now it's going to be a bit of a slow down game for a moment, at least from Burrito's point of view. Rival, they still may want to go for the Fire Giant here because they're winning the team fights totally. They're just losing the skirmishes afterwards.
They're baiting Burrito out quite well here because it's all Deathwalker finding the consistent slows. Fusify actually blinked through the speed buff.
And now he's in a bit of pressure himself. Deathwalker, though, he's at 31,000 player damage right now. Yes, he wiped away on Chak all day, but he's still doing great work in this team fight, not just to Chak.
Baiting out a lot of abilities as Rival. Stellar Burst off the mark from Ferrocrick. The rest of Burrito positioned to try to defend this Fire Giant as Rival pulls it yet again for the 3rd time. Sibby trying to do what he can, but the damage is already at 50%.
Taunt on Sibby. Sibby's going to get a bit of potent damage and it ults, but doesn't catch anyone he would like to. Instead, he eats an unstable vortex. Deathwalker, meanwhile, pops his thorns and forces Burrito to stop attacking himself and turn some damage back around on them once more.
Deathwalker just baiting himself so perfectly here. He wants to get hit by Fusify and Johnny because that means that the rest of his team, specifically Vote and Wolfie, is going to be very safe. And we talked about the Giannis portals out of Wolfie. The repositioning from Rival is making it too difficult for Burrito to find these late game kills.
From Deathwalker on to Spotify, who will get away for the time being. Deathwalker's dealing with the whole team. Is around the left-hand side. You can see the pick potential. Johnny goes in, looking for Wolfie again, but the monkey's in trouble.
He's going to try to find an escape here, but the speed buff is not enough. The Hasted Katana Ice Ice Baby confirming that one. First victim from Burrito. They're not able to find a return kill, and the rest of Burrito need to give up this Fire Giant.
But there's still 4 of them here. Healthy enough for Burrito to try and defend this a little bit. Axis from Sibby over the wall will put a bit of poke pressure on, and they're healthy enough for the time being, totally. They can stop this from happening.
Vote was looking to get some lifesteal off the taunt onto Fusify. All 5 members turning their attention onto the bear. Now going through the portals, Wolfie, the backhand side. Sibby's trying to get off with the damage onto Vote.
Yeah, but Sibby's eating more damage than he's doing back and zoning away Vote. He's not working out for him. Chak's in trouble, and clean up from Vote is good. But the health bars of Team Rival are very low here because Spotify was left alone so long.
Vegas was used and keeps him alive because Painify can't say the same for him. Fusify, though, will take out one, but not until the rest of his team will avenge him. Deathwalker forcing out the beats from Ferrocrick. Gonna still look to zone out that soul. There's only 2 Burrito members alive, and neither of them are anywhere close to this Fire Giant.
No, so this Fire Giant should be going the way of Rival, although the damage will take a little bit longer with this comp to really bring it down. It's a lot of basic attacks really required here with the Hunter being dead. It does buy a window for Johnny to potentially come in and look for a cheeky steal. Has his ultimate available.
And the blink, he goes in, he uses the Fear No Evil, overhand smash, it's not enough quite yet. Still going in, Rival confirmed their own Fire Giant.
Just too early from Johnny. If he would have waited a little bit longer there, I think he could have ulted, overhand smashed, potentially stole it away. But Rival will get 4 members with the Fire Giant and be able to fall back now.
The problem for Burrito was that they didn't have vision inside the pit of the Fire Giant.
Yeah.
So Johnny didn't actually know the health bar of the Fire Giant.
I get it.
He took a gamble.
It's a gamble. It's just so unfortunate. That's all it was. Like, it's hard to sit there and go, well, if I were to think about it, an Osiris, a Vamana, and a Giannis, how fast can they burst it down?
And not able to find that. Unfortunately, he also got disrupted of that overhand smash, forced to use that beads really early. Luckily for him, though, he did survive that encounter, so he's able to at least still make his presence felt in the middle of the map and pick up some very crucial farm.
Such an important game for both these two. Burrito just trying to stay in the Pro League by the looks of it. And then position themselves well for the Gauntlet too, which is very key for them to still have a shot at Worlds. And then Rival, well, they don't want to be in the Gauntlet. They want to auto-qualify to the Super Regionals, but it's not looking great with their performances here, even though they're up this game.
So if we look at the Rival standings for this split, but we look at the same roster from last year, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's totally normal, right?
Yeah.
But this is a year later. The
Exactly.
same roster has just increased their performance leaps and bounds, and now is mathematically possible for them to get relegated.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy how the Pro League has changed during the fall split. And the game didn't change that much, so we'll see what happens going into the rest of the fall split here, into the Gauntlet, then Super Regionals, and find out who's going to represent their nations at Worlds.
And honestly, if you look at Obey or Dignitas, neither one of them is safe from first or second seed because, like, we look at the middle of the pack teams. There's Elevate, there's Valence Squad, there's Energy, and then there's Rival. Take your pick of the litter.
And when you look at the whole of Europe in general, I mean, Pappies and Burrito could still technically both survive if everything goes to plan. Like, everything could still happen today, tomorrow. But then you also look at North America and see it's kind of a little bit cleaner, a little bit clean cut between the top and bottom. That was the difference between Europe and NA last year, where it was Europe that was like top and bottom, and NA was a little closer.
That's true. NA was just very close in the action, but they were just Europe a lot better, though, overall, internationally, doing a lot of damage as Vote, trying to siege his Tier 2 towers Rival with their Fire Giant buff.
But Vote will fall back to deal with Fusify engaging, and Johnny's taking on Ice Ice Baby, but Thorns to the rescue comes into play. Johnny's still under pressure by Ice Ice Baby and being run down like a little monkey. Could be as Deathwalker will pick up Kispanithai.
He finds one, two dead as Wolfie picks up Farrakrick. Rival with a 5-on-3 advantage, and Fire Giant, they're going to grab this Tier 2 tower on the left, and this is going to be very difficult for Burrito to defend any additional Phoenixes.
Well, especially with the damage dealers down really totally.
Yeah.
Johnny has his ultimate though, so the last stand of Burrito at this Phoenix on the left-hand side could come down to the Fear No Evil, but with only 3 against 5, tricky.
They're going on to Vote in the backside. The beads was used. He holds onto the dive bomb. He's going to be able to force Johnny to jump away, but finally, left side Phoenix will fall. Johnny's still looking to re-engage here.
Oh, they might be looking to end here by the looks of Rival. They didn't go around the safe way. They're going straight towards
think
the
they got it.
Titan. Fusify doesn't have an ultimate. Remember that.
I think they got it. Johnny's Fear No Evil is down. Fusify baiting himself outside the Titan room, but it doesn't matter because 3 members of Rival are still damaging this Titan, and it looks like Team Rival will grab the first game handily.
Big point for Team Rival there, obviously, and Burrito in a trick.